Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. Happy almost Halloween if you're watching this when I upload. As you can see, I am super into Halloween. I have my decorations up. I'm pumped. I happen to be the biggest Halloween fan of all time. It is my favorite holiday. Well, like Christmas is my favorite holiday, but Halloween is like super close second. I'm excited, as you can tell. I feel like I always start my videos out this way, but it's been a long time since I've uploaded. But I wanted to come back with kind of a cool, different video for me. I'm doing a drugstore starter kit makeup video. But yeah, so I'm gonna let you guys know kind of like my starter kit that I would recommend if you're just getting into makeup, or if you want like to kind of have like your budget, like really good items that are for cheap drugstore makeup that's like not cheap quality, like really good quality drugstore makeup that I would highly recommend and that I use on an everyday basis. I really like affordable makeup, and I would usually reach for my affordable makeup over my high-end makeup, just because I would rather use something that's cheaper that works just as good as something that's more expensive, and I would rather recommend things that are less expensive that work just as good as something that's like super expensive. So yeah, that's just what today's video is going to be, and I'll jump right into it. Also, life update, I chopped my hair off. You might not be able to tell because I think in my last video, I don't remember how long my hair was, but yeah, I chopped like 6 inches off. So yeah, that's the thing that happened. I like it. I usually have, like, I've had like long hair my whole life, but it's not short by any means, but it's definitely like shorter than I'm used to. But anyways, we're gonna start out with primer from the drugstore that I would definitely recommend for starting out. I try to narrow this down as much as possible. Some categories have like more than others because I have a lot of makeup and I have a lot to recommend you guys. But for primer, I picked 2 different ones that I would recommend. One's a more hydrating option and one's like a more blurring option. Some of these, if you've watched my previous videos, you would know from seeing them. I've definitely mentioned these before. The first one is going to be the NYX Hydra Touch Primer. This one is definitely a good hydrating option. If you have dry skin, I would definitely recommend this as a good affordable option from the drugstore that's like easy to get. You can get it at Target, you can get it at Walmart, you can get it at Ulta. Yeah, this is pretty affordable. NYX is kind of more on the expensive side for the drugstore, but definitely still like more affordable than other things. But this feels so nice on the skin. I would compare this to something else that I really like, is the Smashbox Primerizer. But this is like the more affordable version of that. And it works just as well, and it's pretty affordable. So I mean, this is very hydrating, makes your foundation go on very smooth. If you're just getting into primer and you're not really sure what it is, this is just a really good base for your foundation. If you have dry skin or you have like normal skin and you want to put something on like as a moisturizer for your foundation, I would highly recommend this. Another one that I would recommend for if you don't necessarily have dry skin, or even if you do, this one works fine because I do and I use this. I feel like this would work for oily skin as well. I don't have oily skin, so I don't really know. If you do and you use this, let me know how it works. This is the Maybelline Master Prime Blur and Smooth Primer. I really like this because I do notice a difference when I use it for my pores and my lines. And it just makes my skin look really smooth when I use it. And it is blurring, I notice a difference. And it doesn't make my skin super matte or anything like that when I use it. Yeah, it still feels like hydrating, but it's not meant for hydrating or anything like that. But it makes my base look really nice, and I like this underneath my foundation as well. And again, it's Maybelline, so it's affordable and you can get it pretty much anywhere. Foundations were hard because I have a lot. I love drugstore foundation. It's like my favorite category to buy, and I try out so many different ones. I just dropped like all of them. So I have 4, but I'm gonna start with like my number 1 favorite that I would 100% recommend. Is the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Glow Foundation. So I 100%, this is what it looks like. I 100% recommend this for dry skin, but I don't think that this would be an issue for anyone with normal skin, or even with like I don't think this would be a problem with you for oily skin necessarily, like if you don't have like severely oily skin. As long as you like powder your skin and everything, I don't think this would be an issue to like use this foundation because it's so pretty like on the skin. It makes everything just look so like nice and even. It has really good coverage. It says radiant finish, normal to dry skin. That's what it recommends, and it's hydrating, and I definitely agree with that. It has SPF 15 in it. It has, you know, sunscreen in it, and I'm in the shade Creamy Natural 202. It claims to have 24-hour wear. I've never worn it for 24 hours. I've definitely worn it for honestly up to probably 12, and it looks perfect after that. I've never had an issue with wear for this. This is almost empty, but I swear I've used like so many of these. Fantastic on the skin. Literally does not feel like you're wearing foundation when you wear this. Second most worn drugstore foundation that I highly recommend as well. And I apologize for how gross this looks. Like this, I tried to clean it before we started this video and to no success. But this is the CoverGirl Outlast foundation. This is a super old foundation, I believe. It has a pump. I forgot to mention this one's a squeezy tube, which I don't mind. I feel like this packaging is fine. I feel like you can get the most out of your foundation. This one's a pump, which is also fine. It's a glass packaging, which I feel like is nice. But yeah, this is the CoverGirl Outlast Stay Fabulous foundation. It has sunscreen in it as well, SPF 20. I'm in the shade Classic Ivory. It says it has lasting power of primer, coverage of concealer, and blendability of a foundation in one. Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, it's one of my favorite foundations. I can't decide which one of these two is my favorite. I love them both. But I highly recommend this one as well. I definitely think if you're dry, normal, or oily, you can get away with wearing this foundation. I would say it's like a demi, not a demi matte. I would say this one's like a satin finish for sure, because it's not dewy, but it's not matte. It's like in the middle for sure. But this gives you the most beautiful finish as well. I love the finish of this one. And it's not as lightweight as this one, because this one, like, it's almost cooling when you put it on. This one's more like, you can feel that you're wearing foundation when you put this one on, but it feels really good on the skin. But this one has more coverage than this one for sure. I'm gonna try to speed through these two because I've realized that like I've been recording a while and I'm just still talking about foundation. Okay, so last two. These two are newer to my collection, but they're still like staples. This is the Flower Beauty Light Illusion foundation. I am obsessed with this. This is Drew Barrymore's line. This is a pump as well, and I love the packaging of this. It's just very pretty. This is the only thing I've tried from this brand, but I really like it, so I want to try more. This is very dewy, so I would not recommend this for oily skin. I'd recommend it for dry to normal skin. It's luminous makeup nude skin feel. I agree with that. It does not feel like you're wearing foundation when you wear this, but it's very dewy, like very dewy. So I have to powder my skin, and I have to almost like, if I wear this for a long time, I have to touch up at the end of the day, and that's saying something because I do have dry skin. But if you like the luminous look of like dewy foundation, I would highly recommend this for sure. I recently posted about this on my Instagram. If you don't follow me, I highly recommend it. I post a lot about makeup, and yeah, so I will link that down below, and I'll put my username on the screen. But this is the Rimmel Lasting Finish 25-Hour Breathable Foundation. It's high definition, medium coverage. Yeah, that's what that says. And it has SPF 20 in it, and I'm in the shade Classic Ivory. I forgot to mention, in the Light Illusion, I am the shade Ivory. I really like this foundation because the applicator is really interesting. It's like a little scoop applicator. I got it on my hand. I really like this because it's so interesting, but also like the actual formula is really good. It's kind of like the CoverGirl one where it's not super dewy, but it's not matte either. It's like a satin finish for sure. But I love the way this feels on the skin. It's like, it describes itself as breathable, and I would agree with that. It feels like you're not really wearing foundation. The finish it gives is perfect, and it lasts all day on the skin. I'm wearing it right now. I don't know if you can really tell what it looks like on camera, but I am obsessed with it. And I've been wearing it like a lot lately, like every single day, and I love it. Finally moving on from foundation to concealer that I would recommend. I only have two, so this category is not as big. My most used concealer, I haven't really been using concealer lately. I don't know why. Like, I've just been really, I don't have like a whole lot of issues with dark circles or anything, which I've been blessed with lately. But the concealer that I typically use is the Maybelline Fit Me concealer, and this is what it looks like, and I'm in the shade Light. They don't have a whole lot of shades with this concealer, which is unfortunate, but I really like this concealer. I love the way it looks underneath the eyes. It just bought to conceal. It's very smooth, very blendable. I love it. So ColourPop is one of my favorite brands that I've spoken about a lot on my channel, and their concealer is the no filter concealer. It looks kind of gross in the bottle because like I've used a lot of it, so it's like doing weird things, but this is one of my favorite, like I think this is my favorite concealer. It's just like it makes you look poreless, like it's like perfect. And this is a little bit like tricky. It's different. I would say it's drugstore because of the price. It's like $5. I mean, I like the applicator. It's like a little paddle, but you have to order it online, so that's a little bit inconvenient. So I don't know if it's a really good like starter kit item, but I just had to put it in here because it's so good. So if you don't mind like waiting for it to ship to you, I would definitely get this because it's very good. And if you're struggling to find like a concealer that works for you, I would definitely recommend this for sure. So moving on to powder. Powder is something that I've struggled with for a while to find like my perfect one. I'm gonna be honest, my favorite one is not a drugstore one, but I have drugstore ones that I really like. So I'm gonna mention those today. The one that I used for a really long time that I love is the Coty Airspun Loose Setting Powder. This is what it looks like. Oh, is that upside down? Yes. This is what it looks like. If you can get past the smell is like interesting. It's like baking soda or like, no, baby powder, sorry. And make sure you get the shade translucent because if you get a different shade, it looks very strange and not pleasant underneath the eyes. So make sure you get translucent. You can get it at Walmart or you can order it off Amazon. One that I recommend is the Maybelline Fit Me Loose Powder. This one is also very nice. It doesn't not come in a translucent shade. Typically, I was very much against like colored loose powders at first. This is what changed my mind, is this powder. This is the only non-translucent loose powder that I like. And this is in the shade Fair Light. This is really, really nice. I really like this. It does not take away any coverage on your foundation. I use this underneath my eyes and I use this on my whole face and I really like it. Yeah, so I really like that powder. It's really smooth, gives you some coverage but not like a lot, where it looks like cakey or anything, and it sets your foundation in place all day. This powder is my holy grail setting powder. This is the Rimmel Stay Matte Pressed Powder, and it is so loved that you can't even like see the logo or anything on the packaging. But I promise that's what this is. There's also dents in the actual thing. It's in the shade Transparent. I will either use this shade or the shade Natural Translucent, and then they have like colored shades. But this powder is so smooth. I use this to set my whole face, not underneath my eyes. I don't like pressed powders underneath my eyes. But yeah, I love this powder, and it doesn't scare me that it says it's like a matte powder, because you know normally if you have dry skin you wouldn't want to use like a matte powder, but I get oily like a little bit on my T-zone, like my forehead and my chin. But I use this like on my whole face and it is amazing. I use it like I said, blotting powder. It's like if throughout the day I notice I'm getting a little bit oily or a little bit too dewy, I will touch up with this and like my powder brush. I plan on doing this as well, like my most repurchased items. Let me know if that's in the video you guys would be interested in seeing, but this is one of my most repurchased items. I've bought like 10 of these. I run pretty quickly because this is something that lives in my purse because I take it everywhere with me and I like retouch when I need to. But yeah, I love that powder. I highly recommend this if you need like a good pressed powder, and it's definitely something that I wanted to include in my starter kit and something I would recommend to you guys. Bronzer, which is one of my favorite makeup items. I highly recommend the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. I don't have one of those right now because I just finished mine. And I was gonna show you like the empty one, but I don't know what I did with it. So yeah, I highly recommend that, first of all, but I have two here that I have not used up yet. The first one is the Rimmel London Natural Bronzer. This is what it looks like, and it's a really good shade for me. It looks really orange on camera, but I've hit pan on it, and I've repurchased this before. It is in the shade Sunlight, and I love this bronzer. It's really affordable. Rimmel's just a really good brand, and it's really affordable in general. The packaging is like pretty cheap, but I mean, it's drugstore, and like if the product's good, I really don't care what the packaging looks like. So yeah, it's really good, it's really nice, and it really like warms up the face and brings like the whole look together, I feel like. So yeah, I highly recommend that. It is a really affordable brand. I think this was like $3. You can get them at Ulta, I don't know. I think you can also get them at Walmart, I believe. It's Essence Beauty, and this is what it looks like. It's their matte bronzing powder in the shade Natural. This is huge. It's like the size of my whole hand, but it's really pretty. I love this bronzer. It's pretty light, so you have to build it up, but I love it. I think they have different shades too if you're not in my like skin tone range, but I love this bronzer. It's very smooth on the skin, and I highly recommend it. It's also one of my favorite things, but I know some people, it's hard to find like a formula that works for you and that has like good colors and things like that. So one of my favorite formulas is the Wet n Wild Color Icon blushes, and you can get these pretty much anywhere. One of my favorite colors is this color, Mellow Wine, and I've had this for a while and I need to buy a new one because you can see like it's almost completely gone. But I love this color. It's like a nice, my favorite colors are like the peachy colors. That's what this is. Mellow Wine is this shade, and I love it. I was scared of it at first because I normally don't like shimmery blushes. This is the shade Rosé Champagne. I love this blush, and I was really scared of it at first, but it's because it's like super shimmery. But I actually love it, so I really recommend that too. And I really recommend like branching out, just as like a tip for anyone that's stepping into makeup for the first time, or like stepping into like drugstore makeup or anything like that. Just like branching out. If it looks kind of scary at first, just try it, and sometimes it works on your skin and you just didn't think that it would. But I highly recommend that formula. They just blend really easily on the cheeks, and it works really well. What I currently have on my cheeks, it's more like a burnt, like orangey color. It's the Burt's Bees blush in the shade Toasted Cinnamon. I love this as a fall shade. I got this on Kathleen Light's recommendation. This is what it looks like. It's a little dusty when you go in with your brush, but I don't mind that just because, I mean, like it wasn't super expensive. This is a little bit more expensive for drugstore. I think this was like $10, and I'll put the price on the screen. But I love this formula. It's very soft, and it goes on the cheeks really nice, and I love the color. So I highly recommend these as well. They have other shades too, I believe, and I'll probably end up getting more also. So I'm picky about like my highlight formula. Also, a lot of the ones that I like are high end, but these are two that I really enjoy that are drugstore. The first one that I use the most is this Essence one. This is the Essence Pure Nude highlighter. I've had this for a long time. It used to be like a dome, but now it's like, oh, it's pretty far like dented in. As you can see, this is in the shade Be My Highlight. I love this. This is fantastic. It's very smooth. It's very natural. So if you're, again, new to makeup, or if you like very natural, minimal makeup, this is not going to blind you. This is not going to be like in your face. This is just a sheen on the cheeks. It doesn't look like wet or blinding. It's just like a glow from within type highlight. It's not like in your face or crazy or anything. This is very natural, and it's like $2 or $3. So highly recommend picking this up. This is like one of my favorite highlighters ever. A little bit more intense. This is the e.l.f. Shimmer Highlighting Powder in the shade Starlight Glow. This is for if you kind of want to branch out a little bit more and get something that is a little bit more shimmery. But it's not, again, it's not something that's intense enough to where it's gonna like freak people out or be like, oh, that girl's wearing a highlight. Like, it's still gonna be like a nice sheen, but it's gonna definitely more intense than like the Essence one. But it's like still natural, if you know what I mean. Like, but obviously you're wearing a highlight. Does that make sense? I don't know if that makes sense, but you get where I'm going. Moving on to eyeshadow, I have a lot to talk about, but mainly it's just from one brand. I was gonna upload this video all about ColourPop, but I had a few issues editing. But I am obsessed with ColourPop's eyeshadow formula. They're not really drugstore, but I just feel like I had to mention them because they're so affordable. ColourPop makes my favorite eyeshadow formula, and I wanted to mention them because they're not talked about very often. So first, I have these two palettes. They're in collaboration with the YouTuber Kathleen Lights. But I just wanted to show you guys these colors. Like, if you're wanting to have like neutral colors but also some colors to like experiment with, ColourPop has so much variety in their palettes. This is the ColourPop and Kathleen Dream Street palette, and I apologize that mine is a little bit busted because I use it a lot. But the variety in this palette, I just love it. The neutral colors that you get, and then you get some pops of color as well. But again, these are just so affordable that I could not tell you guys about them. And again, I'm just in love with them. But this is the other Kathleen Lights collaboration. This one is not as wearable, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. But again, if you're more into like experimenting, this one is also great. But it's the Zodiac palette. But I love this one as well. It's just so great. The formula is just so blendable and easy to work with. Personal favorite, just because, I mean, if you know me, you know how obsessed I am with Disney. This is the, oh, I forgot to show you guys the front of these. This is the Dream Street and then the Zodiac palette. The other one. This is the Disney and ColourPop Disney Designer palette. And this is the inside. Look how gorgeous this is. This is definitely really good for anyone that wants neutrals, and again, some, you know, little pops of color here and there. But yeah, this one is to die for, and I have played around a lot with this. All of the colors are really good and really easy to blend and just perfect. I wanted to include all of the ColourPop palettes, but I also wanted to include something that like you didn't have to order online. ColourPop is in Sephora, and I believe they're on the Ulta website as well. So I mean, look on the Ulta app or on the Ulta website if you have it, because I have ordered ColourPop from Ulta before, so I know they're there. Again, I think you just have to order it, or at least where I'm from you do. But I wanted to include something that is actually drugstore too that I enjoy. These Wet n Wild palettes are really good quality. These little palettes. This is the Rosé in the Air palette, and I just love these colors, especially for fall, and they're really good quality. So any of these little palettes are really good, and they're really cheap as well. A few little more things and then we're done. Quickly, I just wanted to mention some little things. I'm not super into any eye stuff, so I didn't have a whole lot more to mention, but this NYX glitter primer, if you're really like into experimenting with glitter or like shimmer shadows, I always put this on before I put like a glitter shade on my, or like a shimmery shade on my eyelid, and this makes it stay like really well. So my favorite sponge is this. It's really dirty, so don't judge me. It's the Real Techniques face sponge, I believe is what it's called, but it's really nice because it has this like edge right here that gets underneath your eyes and like in places really easy. But this is my favorite sponge, and it's a lot more affordable than like the beauty blender that everybody uses. And like, I don't understand why people would opt for a $30 sponge rather than this is like $6 and you can get it very easily. So I would highly recommend this one over that. So lastly, this is like my saving grace. This is the Milani Make It Last setting spray. This I spray after I'm done with any makeup look, and I swear this seriously makes a difference, no joke, on any makeup look that I have, and it makes my makeup last all day long. So this is like $10, and I know that sounds steep for like a spray that you missed all over your face, but that is the end of this video. But again, very important for me, at least in my makeup routine, and I always use that, and I feel like it definitely makes a difference. But Alright guys, that's my drugstore makeup starter kit. Let me know if you try any of these things out and if they work for you. But yeah, that's all the things that I would recommend from the drugstore for you guys. Let me know if you guys have anything that you would recommend to me or to anybody else that are like essentials in your collection that are from the drugstore. I love you guys and thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in my next video. Bye. The other foundations were hard, sorry. Look at it, it's really, ooh, that made a weird sound. But like, it's a big, like, I hope this doesn't drip, but like, look at, I run out of the, and then last but not least, my favorite, wait, I think I have one more thing. But my camera stopped recording, but here we are again.